Kids, good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about Mitt Romney outreach, and the topic is going to be specifically on the word trust and that dear passion we have for trusting our elected individuals. And I'm going to try to make the case for you that Mitt Romney is the one you can trust to be president of the United States. So are you sitting? You got paper, pen? Let's get some facts down. Mitt Romney said a long time ago, I will say anything I need to say to get 50% of the vote to win. He said that. And he's kept that promise. He has said everything to anyone that he thinks they want to hear in order to get your vote. So he is a man of his word. You can trust that. Now, the other day, we saw in this presidential debate this breathtaking change on Mitt Romney's part. And the change didn't stop there. It continued yesterday. But let's start with the debate. Mitt Romney has completely scuttled his tax program. Completely. Forget everything you ever knew about his tax program. It's going to be nothing like that. There's going to be no more detail at all between now and Election Day. Just forget everything you know. He'll find something once he gets in office. And we can all trust him on that. He's also promised us that we'll never have to worry about Medicare or Medicaid or Social Security. He's gonna keep us safe from cradle to grave. Everyone, all the time. We never have to worry about it. Never mind the details. He'll get it done. He also loves education, and he's going to do everything in his power to enhance education and increase education spending through the roof. He's also going to spend on the military through the roof to make sure that we are always the biggest, baddest military ever in the history of the universe, and we'll continue to pump in trillions of dollars into the military, even though we're not fighting a war. So never worry about that. We'll always be safe under Mitt Romney. And your taxes. He had promised tax cuts, but since he's scuttled his tax thing, never mind. Mitt Romney is actually more of a, how do you put that, socialist when it comes to this. He wants to close loopholes. Now, he did say that. I am going to close loopholes, which is basically a net tax increase. So he must be very serious about the deficit, which means everyone will start paying their fair share of their taxes as they currently are, or as he adjusts them need be. But when anybody says, I'm going to close a loophole, which he did about 150 times, that means you're getting a tax increase. You can guarantee that. Absolutely. Because those loopholes are actually tax deductions. So if you take them away, that's a tax increase. So Mitt Romney is really for knocking the deficit down quickly, which means everyone is going to pay more in taxes, which is a healthy, good thing because we really need to get a control of this deficit, and Mitt Romney's made that promise. So he's going to raise your taxes, absolutely guaranteed. Now, I know that sounds that's a hard truth. But that's where we need to be in this lifetime, especially if we're going to continue with Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security like Mitt Romney's promised. And he just promised that just the other day on TV. It was a brand new policy. Now, that's great. He also wants to take Romney Care and make every state adopt Romney Care, which is kind of different from Obamacare in that instead of just making it a federal mandate, he's going to mandate each state to mandate it. Does that make sense? He's going to mandate Romney Care on the other 49 states, but he's not going to do it federally. He's going to do it by mandating the states do it themselves, at least according to the debate. So that's a good thing. We're going to actually get health care. And it's going to be health care for all. Because Mitt Romney really believes that. So All those people wetting their pants about, oh my God, we're not going to have any health care if Romney gets in place. Don't worry. Mitt Romney's going to make it happen for everybody, just like he promised on TV. Now, some of you are concerned about these wild shifts back and forth in policy, and you're saying, well, how can I trust this guy? Well, you can trust him because you remember when the 47% video came out, and everybody was like, oh no, he didn't. And he came out in a special news conference at 10 o'clock at night and said, oh yes, I did. Remember that? He said, oh yes, I did. It wasn't very articulate, but oh yes, I did. And I meant that. I could have said it a little bit nicer, but yeah, I meant that. Now, we all know the other day, they found this video from Ryan from last November, and I mean, just this, less than a year ago, saying exactly the same thing Mitt had said, except he used 30%. But also, if you really listen to the video carefully, he said up to 70% of America is dependent on the government. 30% absolutely want a nanny state and absolutely demand a nanny state, but up to 70% are mooching. That's what Ryan said. Now, Mitt Romney said it was 47 to 49% that were moochers. But Ryan upped the ante to actually 70%, getting benefits from the government. Now, 30% are totally dependent, and then from 30% to 70%, they're somewhat dependent. So, we become this state where only 30% of the country actually works and actually contributes the full amount for everyone else, which is shocking. I never knew. But they seem to have this down to like a calculated, some kind of science. Now, we just need to find their number, but that got complicated yesterday because Mitt said, you know what, forget about that video, what I said to those donors giving me all that money. I was lying to them. And forget about that news conference that I had. I don't know what came over me. But I didn't mean any of that. That was just totally wrong. I was completely, absolutely, 100% wrong. Now, we haven't heard the same thing from Ryan yet, but I am assuming we will. Because, they are a team. But yet we have not. But I can trust you that Mitt's on the phone with Ryan saying, you need to walk that back. This is absolutely not acceptable in a Mitt Romney administration. We are for the 100%. Now, I know that this is hard, but this is where faith comes in. And Mitt Romney is the candidate of faith. So I need you to have faith. I need you to go down to your church or your temple or whatever it is, or even if you're an atheist, go stare at a rock or a piece of concrete or your dog or whatever, and I need you to have some faith. Grab faith. It's just a little grain of sand that can grow into a miracle. So this is where you need faith. And Mitt Romney is all about faith. Okay? You have to have faith that Mitt Romney really says what he believes. And you have to have faith that Mitt Romney is going to take care of you. Regardless of all the contradictory things you've heard, whatever the last thing that comes out of his mouth, that's his stand, and he means it. And he's really, really, really going to follow through with what he says. And that's devastatingly important to everyone listening. You must have faith that no matter what Mitt says between now and the end of time, that he can be trusted, regardless of what he says, because what he says doesn't matter. It's what's in his heart and what God tells him. And he is a man of faith. So you need to join him in being faithful that he'll take care of your issues, no matter what your issues are. Whether you're that 30% for the nanny state, or you're that 70% that uses benefits, or you're that 30% that's completely independent, Mitt is here for you and will be here for you, no matter what you need or don't need. But you can count on this: you will get higher taxes, because Mitt has said that at least 1,000 times. I'm closing loopholes. That's a tax increase. So you can expect that at minimum. So think carefully, pray. Like I said, if you're atheist, stare at your dog, stare at a piece of tile, whatever, and just know in your heart that Mitt's here for you no matter who you are, because as he said yesterday, now he's for the 100%. And he always has been. And he always will be. Have a good day.